Milwaukee artists are honoring the life of George Floyd as this mural near North and Holton on Milwaukee's north side has become something now of a memorial. Many people stopping by for a moment to remember the man himself. And murals like that have appeared all across the country as different artists honor George Floyd and call for change.
I sat down with Milwaukee pastor Micaiah Young, who echoed the message of protesters. We can't be silent.
Your reaction to George Floyd's murder?
Devastated, traumatized. We've seen so many other instances in recent years, and of course we know historical incidents that have happened, and that is grueling. But to actually see somewhat of a modern day lynching.
In our current culture, the pressure for people to stay silent. Why are you taking this platform? You're the church. You shouldn't be speaking on this. Why is a media person speaking on this? Why is an athlete speaking on this? Just do your job. Why? What is it that you said, no, I'm not going to be quiet?
I think that, yes, we have seen all of these other instances, but I think it's been insult to injury, right? We are tired. I think that the world is tired, and there's a turning of a generation, and there is a transformation of thought. I think that it is really just interesting that this has happened and these occurrences during the midst of this pandemic, right? While all of us are redefining who we are in the world today, as a pastor myself, and a person who works in the community and feels committed to empowering individuals, in particular men and boys. I have been shoved out of the four walls of the church, right? And whatever institution that I work within, I have been forced to be a part of community in a different way. I've been challenged to do ministry in a way that I've never done it before. And so I think that in this moment, all of us are learning who we are. We're learning what our responsibility is, and we realize that whatever it used to be, it's not that anymore. And so we can't be silent because we are all one.
And one person with a voice is Common Council President Cavalier Johnson, who grew up in neighborhoods all around Milwaukee, including the 53206 zip code. Now, we spoke on Saturday, but just today, in fact, Cavalier called for action from the Fire and Police Commission and Mayor Tom Barrett when it comes to the changes that so many of the protesters want to see.
People are sick and tired, and they want substantive, systemic, institutional change in these departments, in these policies that have been adversely affecting people of color for decades and centuries. Nobody that I've spoken to, nobody in elected office has criticized, personally criticized, police officers. This isn't about individual officers. This is about the system itself. We're trying to have systemic change. It's not about any one particular officer, because we know that the vast majority of people who work in law enforcement in Milwaukee and across the state, they do so with the best intentions at heart. They get up every day and they put a badge on and they go out to really protect and serve, these communities. And one of the things that we have been researching in my office is ways that we might be able to work together with the Fire and Police Commission and the police department to implement new strategies, new standard operating procedures that focus on de-escalation tactics. It would be appropriate to make sure that we look at other avenues so that we're not putting police in harm's way, all the time, that we have opportunities for people to, reach out to therapists to get the help that they need before the bomb explodes, before the top blows off. And if we could do that, then I think we could take the temperature down in the community. And overall, this is the thing: if we're able to invest in other areas, of employment and education and housing, stable housing for folks, then we would be in a position where we wouldn't need the police to respond to these things.
Thoughts of the Common Council president. We end tonight on a hopeful note. Reggie Jackson is a longtime Milwaukee educator who now works with companies on improving diversity. He has traveled the entire state, the entire country, and he's noticed that more white Wisconsinites are not just willing, they are eager to learn more about how to make change.
The problem is not the police officers. The problem is how we police, the mechanisms we use to police. Unless we make drastic changes to the way we police, then these problems will continue to crop up. So I think that there's a great deal of promise based on what we've seen with the protests, especially the widespread nature of them and the diversity of the people that are doing it. But if we don't keep that pressure on our police departments to change, then we're going to be just back having the same conversation again 6 months from now, a year from now. I would say that I think that we're at a moment in time in America that's very unique, where we all now have an opportunity to soak all of these things in and begin the process of learning more about our country, learning more about why racism exists, what it looks like, learning the systemic nature of it so that we can begin to have different conversations that we're having now. A lot of the conversations that many people in the white community in particular have had are based on things that you just don't know because it's not part of your lived experience. Now is the time to reach out and learn the lived experiences of people from the Black community so that you can have productive conversations and be comfortable in those spaces. It's not about pointing fingers of blame at white people and calling them different names. It's about really having white people to begin to question why they see the world in the way that they see it.
I want to thank Reggie Jackson. I want to thank all of our guests tonight. And I want to thank you for watching, because if you gave us an hour, it means you want change and you're committed to it, as are we. On behalf of all my colleagues tonight, we look forward to continuing this dialogue, and we will do so moving forward because you matter and because it matters. It's been an honor to share the stage with you guys. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Let's go!
We want justice by any means necessary. We want equality by any means necessary.
You can't agree. Black lives matter. All lives matter.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
This is not just about one thing. This is about everything that has been going on and we've been fighting for years.
No justice!
Black people, we can't do it by ourselves. Other races know what's going on with us. It's messed up. Until they stand up, ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it.
All lives matter.